Yeah. Oh, sorry. Should we turn on the lights, Lara?
Yes, it should be like this. Just make sure your phone isn't this. Yeah. Yeah.
I literally don't know what to do about this internet. Should I reconnect it? Yeah, I've been trying.
People on the buses.
You are now listening to the Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. My headphones don't work as usual. Ooh, they do work. Never mind. We got a big crowd here in studio. We got 6 people. We got JT Bethea, my co-host. We have Olive. We have our newscaster. I'm a little off today this morning, I'll be honest with you. We have Alex Braun, our sportscaster. We also have our lovely ADJs, Terry and Victor. Welcome to the Morning Buzz, everybody. I'm gonna see if the talk studio mics work. Can you guys hear me in the other room?
We can hear you.
Oh, it works!
Oh my
Yes!
God.
I'm very happy that it works. So, Olive, whenever you're ready, please take it away with the newscast.
Absolutely. So, in world news, Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich has had $7 billion in assets frozen on the island of Jersey. This financial fallout comes as a direct result of the war in Ukraine, and the cash is presumed to be connected to Abramovich through various business activities. Jersey, a self-governing body part of the Channel Islands, is now the site of Abramovich's effort to protect his money and assets at the dawn of the war. It was found just last week that the very day Ukraine was invaded, he changed the ownership of his yacht to an associate from a company based out of Jersey. though at this time, the yacht itself has not been seized. In other news, a recent investigation has revealed that the wealthiest Americans in the country pay a mere 3.4% in taxes. Yes, of 401 billion. That was made among the top 25 wealthiest folks in the country, and they paid 13.6 billion in taxes between 2014 and 2018, which reflects that 3.4%. These figures were gleaned from public tax records from just the 100 top 100 of the richest Americans. It was found that they used charitable giving as a backdoor to keep their taxes low, while also taking advantage of lower rates on their financial assets, like stocks, which are generally taxed lower than the paychecks of average Americans. And in campus news, the launch of Hawk Plus has further been delayed. I hate to say it, especially after such an amazing interview last week. If you tuned in, we had Professor Mark Efron elaborate on this amazing project coming out of the School of Communication and Media. But unfortunately, due to issues with closed captioning, which is such an important part of accessibility today, it has been further delayed. So hopefully we're looking at a projected launch next week, and we'll see how things go. Of course, I will always keep you updated about that.
Olive is our FBI agent for Hawk Plus.
Definitely undercover.
Honestly, I just have one thing to say about the closed captionings. It's just so important. Like I love closed captions, and I know people that like need them, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm a personal user of them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the fact that so many people use them, it's really important to have them. So thank you, Olive, for that beautiful newscast.
People judge me for using closed captions, and I tell them to shut up because actors don't know how to speak anymore.
Listen, if I think my grandma was like talking about this. She's like, sometimes like I watch British TV shows and sometimes they have an accent and I can't understand them. So I have the closed
Yeah.
captions. So
Right. Well, these are just, some of the details that go into launching a project this involved. So though, I'm kind of bummed that we're gonna have to wait a little longer. These are just some of the things, outside of the community that really needs them. So many people get so much out of it. And, for myself, when I was learning English as a child, they always used to be on because that's how I made connections, as I started to read and things. So in any case, yeah, thank you so much.
thank you. I guess
I do have a little weather for us too. Let me not forget.
weather.
So it's like wet outside right now, but we do have a high of 84 and
Beautiful.
a low of 54. I mean, guys, come on. 84? That's like
That's beautiful.
that's out of control. Friday, we have a high of 70, a low of 48. Saturday, 50% chance of rain, high of 70, low of 50. Sunday, partly cloudy with a high of 54 and a low of 41. Monday, a high of 52 with a 60% chance of rain and a low of 37. Tuesday, rain 80%, high of 54 and a low of 43. And Wednesday, it's looking like it's sunny with a high of 61 and a low of 39. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all. Thank you. I love the weather. Weather's cool.
Jersey really said, we're going to give you a couple of days of good weather for the first time in 6 months, but back to normal next week.
But we're also going to make sure that Olive comes to school in full sweatpants because she thought it was a rainy day.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, what?
Hey. And my headphones just. Oh, I had a.
Okay, Laura. It's okay, Laura. You know what? Your headphones may not work, but you know what works?
What does work?
Sports, because we got sports. Oh, my mic just fell. Because in baseball news, the Mets have been on a hot streak recently, winning.
Woo! Go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
Oh my god.
It's all about the Mets. Let's go Mets.
Go
Come on, the
Mets.
Mets. And recently they won out of the 5 out of the 7 games they played when they beat the Phillies last night 9-5. Sadly, can't be said about the New York Yankees, who lost to the Blue Jays last night 6-4. But the Yankees will try to pick up their win tonight as they play the Blue Jays at 7. And in hockey, the New York Rangers are going to the playoffs. They clinched it, but they still got games to play when they beat the Philadelphia Flyers last night 4-0. And the New Jersey Devils not going to the playoffs at all. but they'll play against the Colorado Avalanche at 9. In basketball, it's a good day to be a New Yorker because this Saturday the NBA playoffs start, and do you know who's gonna play? The Brooklyn Nets at the will play the Celtics on Sunday, April 17th at 3:30. And congrats to Scotty Scheffler, who won the Masters on Sunday. He was the first New Jersey born to ever win the Masters, if anybody. So shout out to Jersey, shout out to Scotty. And in Montclair sports, we got good news. The Montclair softball team destroyed Rutgers Cannon last night, 10-2 in an amazing game. And the news just keeps on getting better. When Montclair faced Ramapo, they didn't just beat them once, they beat them twice. Twice. And in the first game, Montclair destroyed Ramapo 14-5. And in the second game, they squeaked out a win 5-4. And the Red Hawks will return at Yogi Berra Stadium on Thursday to host New Jersey City at 3:30 p.m. I've been Alex, and this has been sports.
I keep forgetting what fader you're on. So I'm like, I hope I was just praying that I just turned the right fader on or off.
Yeah, I'm not in my usual seat, so I can't see.
I know.
And you change the fader or no?
It's weird. It's weird having you on mic too.
Yeah, I can't see your face.
I know. Like the screen's in the way. I just want to know why this isn't sports. Anyway, the board is making me very upsetty spaghetti today. It just is.
As a Yankee fan, it's all about the Mets. Let's go Mets.
Go Mets! Woo, Lindor.
I'm personally a Yankee gal.
I'm from
Me
South
too.
Jersey.
I
so
just like screaming, "Come on, Mets!" It's all about the Mets because of the memes. I'm a Yankees fan. So
I'm a pure Mets fan, so like, let's go.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
they're gonna have a good season. I feel.
Mhm.
Anyway, the sports are cool. This is gonna be an awful transition.
It's hard to transition.
But I'm not gonna say that. That's
Oh,
really
Lord.
bad. But we're just gonna be moving on to our top stories today. So we're gonna be discussing the New York City subway shooting suspect and how he was captured. Frank James, the Brooklyn subway shooter suspect, was arrested within 30 hours of the incident through a combination of on-the-ground detective work, technology, and a possible tip from the fugitive himself. New York Police Department Commissioner Keyshawn Schwell said at the press conference Wednesday afternoon, quote, "We were able to shrink his world quickly. There was nowhere left for him to run." Officers got their first lead soon after the incident at the 36th Street subway station in Sunset Park in Brooklyn, where several eyewitnesses filmed and photographed James. I'm like out of breath. I'm sorry.
Breathe.
Call the ambulance. Call an ambulance, but not for me. Police said the suspect also left behind key pieces of evidence that helped them track his movements before and after the incident. The gun, which was allegedly used in the shooting, his coat, a bag filled with fireworks, and James's credit card. The police said James used the credit card to rent a U-Haul van that was discovered parked 5 miles southeast of the station. Officers recovered the vehicle later that evening. James allegedly purchased the gun in Ohio in 2011, according to the NYPD. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is currently looking over data related to gun, according to the agency. Cameras were not working inside the 36th Street subway station, but he was filmed entering he was filmed entering the subway station near where the van has found, according to investigators. He was also spotted on 7th Avenue station in the Park Slope, roughly 3 miles north of the crime scene, which was less than 30 minutes after the shooting. This is long. Woo! Anyway, James fled the scene in an AR train from 36th Street words. While investigators continue to probe through clues, including James's social media posts where he ranted against the New York City mayor, Eric Adams, police released his photo to the public Tuesday night and named James a person of interest. John Miller, the NYPD commissioner, said at Tuesday's news conference, quote, "That was a critical effect on raising the kind of public awareness." See, this in America, here is where there are no laws on guns. And I remember on the news that they were saying something about ghost guns or something about how they're not marked or tracked. And this gun violence is a problem in America,
Yeah.
and it continues to go on. So what are people doing about it? Nothing.
Yeah,
I feel unsafe.
I feel very unsafe, especially since we don't know if ghost guns were involved in this particular situation, but the culmination of ghost guns on the rise and then these situations continuing to happen. We just had Brooklyn, and then recently we just had American Dream. It continues to affect particularly our community around us, but just the whole country in general.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating when you get trends of, okay, we're going to talk about gun controlling, gun violence, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to debate about this for a couple of months. It's going to fizzle down. Then it's going to come back up once another incident happens. And it's caused the question of when is something actually going to be done? And that's the most frustrating part as citizens, because now you're constantly having your head on a swivel, worrying about doing things that you do day to day, going to the mall, going to the store, getting on the subway, and you're not sure if you're going to be safe that day.
Exactly. I remember I was in middle school, I was in 8th grade. My history teacher described a situation like this as a pothole. Basically, you cover it, there's a pothole, it's big, it's a hazard, right? And they just cover it up like it just never even happened. And when it's uncovered again, that's when the problem's back. And here we are back to square one. It's just the same thing over and over again. And it's a problem in America. Don't quote me on this. I'm not 100% sure if other countries have a problem like we do, but I don't think we do. I don't think other countries do.
Yeah, yesterday I was in New York and I was like, oh, now you hear me? I'm good.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I was in New York yesterday and I was like, oh my God, there was a shooting recently. Oh my
It
God.
makes you really tense.
Yeah.
to be
And
in
I was
those areas.
like, because I was like, okay, either I go to that Broadway show, I booked my tickets, or I don't go because of my safety. Obviously, I decided to go. I was like, okay, I can survive. I'll be in crowded areas just in case. Like, I'll be in Times Square and then I'll go to the theater. And obviously I went to the theater, it was cool, but still I was nervous, and I was receiving emergency alerts saying, oh, there's a suspect on the loose. I'm like, oh my
Yeah, that's
God.
horrifying.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they
The
wanna
day
do
of
everything-
the
I'm sorry.
shooting, I went to a Ranger. Me and my dad went to a Rangers game. It was at night, so we didn't know. I mean, we knew, but we were like, we're not going in the subway. We're gonna make sure we keep our eyes vigilant. And it was just crazy because I'm not a very nervous person, but like it was a little unsettling knowing that he was still running like rampant around the city.
Exactly. And that
People
just
like
goes
to
to show
pretend these are
what
new issues.
just
They're
something
not.
needs to be done about
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
It's the
on-
same thing.
It calls the question
Yeah,
also
you
in New
know.
York. There's a severe mental health problem in New York as well. And that's something that kind of factors into all these violent acts that have been occurring in the city. And something needs to be done about that too, because gun violence and mental health often are coinciding with each other with many mass shootings that happen in the country. And I think just as a country, we need to focus on mental health. We need to focus on keeping our communities safe, because that's just the right thing to do, especially coming out of a pandemic where everyone's mental health was affected so severely. And the fact that our legislators seem to just be wanting to just go about it as if all is normal, all is well, when that is just not the case, and more action needs to be done in terms of rectifying these situations and providing more resources to people to seek help, especially in New York City, where so many the subway has not been safe in New York City for
No.
a very long
I
time.
I think never.
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 But especially in the past couple of months with the increase in violent acts happening on the subway, it's concerning.
Mhm.
So
It is.
I don't know. I won't be going into the city for a little bit.
Please, I'm not going nowhere near the city if I'm being honest with you. But we're gonna be moving on to some lighter news. So JT,
Can you hear me? Because I don't know
can
which
you hear
one's
us in the other room?
No, you gotta turn us up.
JT.
JT, his mic was off. LOL.
JT Untamed.
JT Untamed.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
I got two mics in front of me, so I don't know which ones I'm here to.
I don't know
Anyway.
either, but the one you're on is working. So
Hey,
Anyway, Mountainside Hospital recognized for LGBTQ plus policies and practices. Mountainside Hospital has received the leader status with a perfect score of 100 from the Human Rights Campaign Foundation, the educational arm of the nation's largest lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer civil rights organization, and the hospital has now announced this in a release. The designation demonstrates the hospital's commitment to equitable treatment and public commitment to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning patients, visitors, and team members. Tim O'Brien, CEO of Mountainside Hospital, said in the release, quote, "We are proud to be recognized by the Human Rights Campaign for our efforts to provide an inclusive and equitable environment for our patients, team members, and visitors. We are committed to delivering respectful, compassionate care that meets the unique needs of our LGBTQ plus patients and their families." Mountainside said in the release that it is committed to addressing the unique needs of the issues of the community and has implemented policies and practices included diversity training and education, including cultural competency, training on LGBTQ plus patient care and other related topics, along with training on how to collect sexual and gender identity data for the hospital electronic health records. Policies pertaining to the management and treatment of transgender patients, non-discrimination and anti-harassment, equal employment opportunity, and Americans with Disabilities Act. Meaningful community partnerships and outreach programs with partners such as Diversity and Equality, this creation of a gender-neutral single-stall restrooms throughout the facility.
Gay rights.
Gay rights.
Gay
Gay
rights.
rights.
Yay.
It's finally to hear some good news.
For the LGBTQ community.
Right.
Exactly, because
It's
they've
about time.
that community has been going through a lot recently between Florida's Don't Say Gay bill and a version of Ohio's bill going through. So it's finally nice that they're getting the recognition and to be treated like human beings and to be considered because they are humans at the end of the day. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, despite all the people in Jersey trying to say otherwise.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I look
That's
forward
coming
to
through,
people
too.
like kind of fighting over this kind of status. Like, who's gonna be the best catering to marginalized communities? Like,
Who's gonna treat people like people? Who's gonna be first?
right,
Is it gonna be you?
Exactly. Yeah.
like I want people to be scrambling to be those people. You know what I mean? I hope this news can be more just, I hope it's less news and more just the way that things are as time goes on.
Right.
I just hope this is the norm going forward
Yeah.
because this is great news to hear, but it's honestly sad in a way that people are like, this is not normal.
Mhm.
This is not the norm.
Exactly.
I
Because-
think, honestly, it's just more recognizing that is a thing. I think they've always treated people like people there. I mean, actually, when I had my bike accident last week, that's where I went. And I've always gotten great service at the hospital. But I think more it's just like highlighting that it is of importance. I don't think it's a new thing, but I think it's cool that they are recognizing it, even though I do understand what you're saying. It's just because like when you start recognizing people, that people like being recognized. So it might actually motivate some people that are behind, to do something, to
That's
contribute in some way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It just circles back to being in leadership positions and understanding the community. I keep saying this every week. You have to understand the communities that you serve in order to do your job correctly.
Mhm.
And
Preach.
thank you.
Yeah, honestly, no, that's real.
And there was a time, I think, during the Trump administration where a lot of hospitals were turning away LGBTQ individuals
I
and
remember
specifically
that.
transgender people because of how they identify.
Hmm.
And being that if you are a medical professional or a person that serves communities in general, you take some sort of oath to serve and protect in some capacity all people
I was
that
gonna
you
say-
encounter.
All people, right?
And you have the audacity to say that because of your quote unquote beliefs, you can't serve this person, even though you vowed to protect
Exactly.
all people.
It's the
it's so contradictory.
Hippocratic.
Hippocratic.
oath.
Yeah, you got a Hippocratic.
It's ironic because it's
I'm using that now.
Not Hippocratic.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No, you good. I found a new word now.
That's cool.
It's the name of a new strain
horrifying.
that's emerging.
Oh,
New variant.
Yeah.
bruh.
started by JT only.
Of course it was.
Started it and only affects JT.
Just JT.
Honestly, I'm
I
crying.
am a variant. Somebody say what?
Anyway, JT is gonna use that new word during his break. He'll figure out a sentence that
Yeah.
he'll come back with a sentence.
It's gonna be a universal word.
Okay, that's the sure thing, JT.
On that note,
yeah.
Dodgy.
I love you, Daji.
My mentor.
Yeah.
Literally
Yes.
obsessed.
And
I'm obsessed.
Daji, we love the host of Sin Limites. Did I say that?
Yes.
We
You
love
can
yes.
catch
How'd I do-
Victor and
Yes,
I on
yes.
later.
Yes.
I'll be there from 2 to 3. I can never
Yeah.
make 1 to 2, but
Y'all should
Yeah.
tune in.
I
I
don't
forgot
think I like
what time
that.
is it? 2 to 3.
To hear Sin
I
Límites
hate
with
people.
Olive, with Victor, with Jazz, with Daji. Is from Sin Límites 1 to 2, and then Aquí Planeta Tierra from 2 to 3. So
period.
tune in.
Her-
Please. Tune in.
Her-
Even if you feel like
I
it.
think
Exactly.
you should. Anyway, we're gonna be moving on. We're gonna be talking about masks again.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah, so the infamous CDC has decided to extend the federal mask mandate for planes and trains until May 3rd. The current mandate was set to expire this coming Monday on April 18th, citing the rapid spread of the Omicron subvariant BA.2, which is now taking up more than 85% of COVID cases in the US. The CDC said it needed more time to monitor a recent uptick. CDC stated, quote, in order to assess the potential impact the rise of cases has on severe disease, including hospitalizations and deaths, and the healthcare system capacity, the CDC will remain in place at this time. Many of the nation's airlines have been pushed hard to have the government lift the mandate. Last month, CEOs of all major US airlines wrote to the administration to stop requiring masks on planes. The business executives wrote, quote, it makes no sense that people are still required to wear masks on airplanes, yet are allowed to congregate in crowded restaurants, schools, and at sporting events without masks, despite none of these venues having protective air filtration systems that aircrafts do. And not only that, no surprise here, but there is a political pressure as well. Several Democratic senators last March joined Republicans in a why are we talking about last year? I don't care about last year, if I'm being honest with you. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Well, it just didn't exist. It's not that you don't care. It's just that it never happened.
Really?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't know either, girlfriend. But you know
Like-
what? I'll say it anyway. But last March, Republicans senators joined. You know what? I'm having a tough time this morning.
I
Um,
love you.
I know
You're
I'm not
doing
doing
great,
good this
kid.
morning.
No,
but-
you're always
But
good.
But no, the bill hasn't been taken up in the House last year until now. So welcome. It's just the same thing over and over again. I know here at Montclair State University, we're still wearing masks on the shuttle and all that. But like at my job, I work at a high school. They're not wearing masks anymore. So it's just
And not at the high school.
It's a
no.
it's
not
a
at our high
tricky
school.
situation just because like we're having another uptick in COVID cases. COVID cases are going up in Bergen County, in Philly. They're starting to go back to mass as well. So it's, the cycle is continuing and it's starting to get really frustrating.
Hot take.
Go ahead, JT.
So it wasn't on the side in the beginning, mostly because I didn't care, because I was just glad we were allowed to leave our homes. So I figured I'd give it at the very least a year before I take a definitive side in the whole mask debacle. It seems like we're in a pattern of cases are going down. We could take away masks. Cases are going back up again. Let's bring back masks. And it gets to a point where you're just like, okay, like if this is going to be a cycle, honestly, choose one, because the more you keep on lifting and reinstating the mask mandate, the less people are going to wear masks when it comes back. When it
Yeah.
was lifted for like 2 weeks in the summer, it was I was at work and I was like, you know what? I never even realized it, but it's so liberating now. And then 2 weeks later, they were like, okay, we got to start wearing masks again. And that's the first time that I could understand why people were annoyed with the mask. Do I still support going into stores and throwing temper tantrums over a face cloth? No.
No.
Do I kind of understand them a little more now? Possibly.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that point. It is very frustrating. Because I went to go work at a summer camp at last summer, and I'm going to work there back again this summer.
A summer camp on summer?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
shit.
way.
No.
I'm
Summer camp is in
shocked.
December. We know.
No, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and they formed a bubble, so nobody had to wear masks after 2 weeks. And then I come back and I'm like, oh, sweet, there's no masks. And then a week later, it's like, hey guys, there's been a big uptick for surprisingly when we take off our masks. So like, let's put them back on. And then I was like, okay, fine, I'll deal with that. And then I'm very frustrated because most places we have to go now, we don't have to wear masks. But then there's that like 2 or 3 stores, which is totally in their right, will mandate masks, and that's like the store you want to go into. And when restaurants were doing like you have to wear masks to go into the restaurant,
But then you
once you
take
take
them
it, you
off.
can take them off as soon as you get to your seat, and nobody's gonna put them back on to go to the bathroom. It just got to a point where it's just very frustrating. You're trying to stay updated, and now on campus they have them, which I enjoy. I like the safety of them, but
We have broken. Montclair has gotten. When I got here, and it was a ghost town. You weren't allowed to have more than one person in your room.
Even if
Forget
that.
gas, masks everywhere. I think the only place that they weren't forcing you to wear a mask was the safety of your own dorm.
Yeah.
Now we have broken through all of that except the mask mandate, which I kind of knew was going to be the last one to go. But at this point, they've even went so far. I think I thought it was either going to be the mask mandate or the outside guest policy. That was going to be the last thing to go.
Oh my gosh.
They took away.
masks.
We're finally allowed outside guests. That happened about a week or so ago. Week and a
April
half ago.
1st.
So now it's like, okay.
You know what grinds my gears more than a mask mandate or not?
What?
I'm not even gonna give my stance on this. It's really annoying more than wearing a mask when your government suppresses information that would save us from going through this for multiple years.
You know what?
That's what gets me mad.
Let's go.
Like, what? Are you serious? Like, the fact that we're even having this conversation. I mean, again. And my whole thing is like, honestly, I had to like do a few weeks of therapy just to get over. I'm so serious. The whole mask thing, because I was getting to the point where I was trying to count germs on people's hands. I'd be like, sorry, you have 14 microbes. Please sanitize your hands before you get in my car. I was real neurotic. Okay. And so to say that, I'm just telling you that I really do still appreciate the mask mandate. But my whole thing is like, let's stop lifting it until the evidence actually gives. Like, let's just keep it, because the back and the forth is what's putting us back, is leaving us steps behind.
Exactly.
You know, everyone's so
Yeah.
eager to move on, and it's like, bro.
We
I know.
we
It's
can't.
the lack of consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And the breakthrough cases are gonna be the cases that are like the freaky deaky little germs that have a chance to mutate because of the shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? It has to at least be uniform, because much like what were we talking last week with the plastic bags, much like the plastic bags, you're allowing other people to do what they want while you're giving us a mixed message by saying whatever the governor's orders are, the mayor's order, the president's order. Like, we need like a federal like thing, you know what I mean? Like, everyone just keep your mask on for a second so we could just get over it.
That's always that's what they've been saying, and it's been 2 years now.
Yeah.
We're getting no.
It's the lack of consistency. My whole thing is like, I think, you know, to each its own, but I think inside, because right now, if the school was maskless, I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to come
for like a month in the summer.
I mean,
I got the email in July saying masks are lifted, and I was like, oh,
yeah, but nobody was
in the
here,
fall. Yeah, we'll go back in the fall. It's gonna be no masks. It's kind of weird. 2 weeks before we came back on campus,
they're like, oh yeah,
the email. Okay, due to cases, we're bringing back masks. I'm like, so essentially, we still got masks.
Right?
This
like,
doesn't make okay. I do have one thing about this. It's just elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools aren't wearing them anymore, which fine, I get it, but aren't, you know, children more prone to like
I never understood why this would have been a thing, since people are also really weird right now about vaccinating their kids.
That's a whole different other conversation that we're not ready to have, but I will gladly have it anyway.
There's so many different factors. It's a lack of consistency here. The first time the mask mandate was lifted, in my opinion, was a little premature, and now with the whole back and forth, like Olive was saying, people are tired of the whole back and forth. They want leadership, they want consistency.
Exactly.
I was just gonna say consistency.
Exactly, and they're not getting it, because if you're going to look towards lifting a mask mandate, you also need to have a plan of how to contain those flare-ups when they do happen. And since we don't have plans for what happens when big flare-ups happen in different communities, we're gonna be in the same cycle for longer than we should be, and that's the frustrating part.
I feel like the way they're dealing with it is, oh, we're just gonna deal with it.
Yeah, it's just like, if you get it, you get it at this point, because
the
now
problem is there's another one.
There's a what?
Everybody's politicizing this. Listen,
Whoa,
I am
exactly.
neither left nor right. I don't care.
You're untamed.
He's
exactly.
JT untamed.
Exactly. I am not even in the middle. I'm on the top, bottom, whatever you prefer. Anyway, the point is, at this point, it's a matter of, you know, the left. We're gonna handle this. I don't care how many mask mandates they take. I don't care how many lockdowns. We're gonna take care of COVID. The right. COVID doesn't exist. You guys are trying to control us. You guys are evil. Shut up. And I'm here like, how about we do what we need to do to get through this? And after that point, what happens. How about common sense? How about 40-year-olds stop acting like children? And how about 80-year-olds stay your butts out of office so we can tackle this the way you need to, instead of this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Tell him.
You tell him, JT.
Tell him.
It's just it's the
Really
same thing.
untamed.
Also,
sorry.
I do have one last thing that I would like to bring up
They
before
don't
we
give
move
children
on.
Right? They shouldn't give old people rights at this point.
Okay. Let's not. Okay.
That was an intrusive thought, my bad.
Guys, save me from the talk studio. JT's going nuts. I'm scared.
Okay. I'm just gonna bring up my point before we move on.
Please.
I would like to bring up here at Montclair State what they've recently done. What did they do? They've exempted. They are not allowing unvaccinated people due to religious purposes on campus back or something.
Like not to
wow.
dorm. Yeah.
If you have
okay.
a religious exemption from the vaccine, you're no longer allowed to dorm on campus.
That doesn't make sense.
Is
but
it
okay.
messed up? Yes.
Yes.
Would it work? Yes. And I would like to emphasize that our opinions reflect ourselves, not of anybody here at the station or of the school, but messed up? Absolutely.
I think it's a matter of
But
they were allowed.
But is it necessary? Yes.
But it's also difficult because we're a commuter school and the mask mandate is lifted in all the surrounding areas. So then COVID's still coming back to our campus, which is like, again, that conversation of how are we containing it when it does come to campus. Especially it's difficult to deal with commuters considering that they just go home or they go out and they bring it back to campus.
Yeah.
So it's just a little, it's really a double-edged sword.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
that, bro.
We're right here.
We really are sharing a brain cell. Terry and I are sharing a brain
Just
cell
one.
today. Just one between the both of us. But it's there's nothing you can do about it.
The problem is that when they made the vaccine mandate on campus, they said religious are exempt, and now that they're going back on that, when we seem to be on like the road out, I think that's where a majority of the outrage comes. Like if they never had that exemption in the first place, this might not have been such of a big problem. But now that they're like, okay, if you were exempt before, you're not anymore. Now
Again,
like,
consistency, right?
exactly.
Being the key.
Now they're just like,
pick a side,
want that.
stay on it so people know what to expect, and then we can navigate within the confines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's like, now we're gonna have the upheaval. Now it's gonna be the outrage, because you know what I'm saying. That's exactly like what I think JT and I are both trying to say. We're not even on a side at this point. It's just like pick one and stick with it so we can see results. Because even if we, even if we pick the wrong thing, okay, we'll take the mask mandate away. Okay, we'll quickly see the evidence show us that that's not the right way. But it's like we haven't done anything consistently enough to actually get real data to make moves off of. People are doing it
mandate for like 2 weeks. Cases go up by like
because
2%,
y'all
like,
felt like it, not based on anything. Because y'all felt like it, and as they say, feelings come and go. They are not reliable for something like this. So
yeah, recently the president talked about like the religious exempt, that banning the religious exempt, and like he said that it was because it was costing money to the university, because most of these people who were religiously exempt were like, instead of being in single housing, they were like in a double housing, for 2 people or 3 people, and they were only like they were alone in that like 3-bedroom room. So like I don't think they're thinking about it like in COVID way. They're really just thinking about money. Like they're not getting the money for the room.
Plus,
Like that's what I think. So because they're paying, for example, a person who is religiously exempt paid for a double housing, but like since he's not vaccinated, he has to be in a single housing, but they don't have single housing, so he stays in the double housing without a roommate. So I think it's more of a money thing than a COVID thing. Personally.
That's so true.
They
It definitely is
yeah.
a money thing other than a COVID thing. I think Dr. Capella elaborated a little bit on this with other student journalists that spoke with him. It is a financial burden on the university, so I feel like that had a huge factor in making this decision.
Oh gosh.
But it also calls to question the morality and the respect of other people's beliefs.
Yeah, how could we forget the money part of the equation? Oh boy, how could we
It's all about
forget?
that money.
We
It's
can
also
never
thinking, like
forget.
some people, they might identify as that religion, but like let's be honest, it's
Are
like
you that
there's
religious?
a lot of like the halfway people that are religious. It's like I personally identify as Christian. Am I out here like my mom? Not quite. But am I religious? Yeah. So there's some people that like, I guess, claim the religious aspect just so they don't have to get the vaccine.
That's just
But it's
like
Oh,
I mean, it
gosh.
is there right at the end.
I
of the
don't think
day,
we
but it's
have.
like,
That's an hour 2 exploration, because I'm about to go hammer on that.
I think sometimes it's more for like a picking and choose what part of your religion you want to. So if you
I
don't want the vaccine mandate, you're just like,
I cannot do this.
I mean, my
due to
mom's
my
Muslim,
religious
so does that mean
background.
I don't have to get it?
Yeah.
and due to my religious beliefs, we're gonna be moving on to the next story. JT,
religion
take
is
it
that?
away.
Okay, so the first story was a good news about LGBTQ.
Oh no.
This is not so much.
Not.
So we're
New
gonna-
Jersey sex education standards spark very belated backlash. Here's what Murphy and the Republicans say. Sex education standards that New Jersey adopted 2 years ago have suddenly drawn fierce new scrutiny from some parents and Republican officials, making the Garda state the largest state for national cultural debate over what students should be and actually are learning in classrooms. The issue exploded in recent weeks after a local school board in Union County shared sample resources educators could use to follow the state standards, which take effect in fall and outline. New Jersey students should learn about topics such as sexual orientations, gender identity, and anonymity. Anatomy. whatever.
Anatomy.
Anatomy. There we go. Officials said the documents were merely a demonstration provided by the state and aren't mandated by the state and won't specifically be a part of the district's curriculum. This situation, however, lost my spot. This situation, however, sparked new attention to the matter, with the Republican lawmaker and conservatives media circulating the documents. Opponents say the sample materials are too graphic and warn the state's incoming standards will lead to children being taught sensitive subjects at too young an age, undermining the rights of parents. Top Republicans in the state Senate on Monday sent letters to the Democratic Governor Phil Murphy and the Senate President Nicholas Ziccardi, calling for the state to delay implementing the guidelines and hold public hearings on them, even though they were publicly available online before the Board of Education approved them at the public meeting in June 2020, 2 years ago. The GOP senators argued the state adopted the standards at a time where people are in the thick of coronavirus pandemic, and they now have heard from a rapidly growing number of parents who are extremely concerned after learning about changes they believe are inappropriate for their children or in conflict with their values. They also note parents can opt their children out, and individual school districts have discretion over how they install the guidelines. And they stress some critics are stirring the issue to push anti-LGBT rhetoric,
I
which is
just
correct.
gotta say, if you don't believe in it, that's fine. Just don't take the opportunity for those who do believe it to not learn about it.
I was on this rant 2 weeks ago. It was so bad I had to make a note saying, so I'm gonna read it.
But it's just, it makes me very angry. You don't have to believe in it. That's fine.
Exactly.
Just respect. Just respect your fellow human beings. Is that too much to ask?
See, here's the problem. In today's here's people like to pretend it's a parental rights thing. It's false. This is not a Buzz theory. This is a JT theory. In today's society, it's no longer acceptable to be against something that's not hurting anybody. For example, sexuality. So people who are against it have to approach their attacks as a defense. There's no hidden agenda with the LGBTQ community. In fact, if we want to get real, there's more evidence of a straight agenda than anything. However, the conservative media, they give people this idea that there's some secret government conspiracy to make everyone gay, starting with the children. Their evidence of an agenda is no more than people trying to live without persecution. Their evidence, quote unquote, of grooming is as teachers telling children, hey, do you know not everyone has a mommy and a daddy and not everyone is straight? And that's perfectly okay. Kind of like how they told me and you that it's okay to be whatever we want to be when we grow up.
Just let's just normalize it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's so hypocritical when people want to utilize their beliefs one way and another way, as if everyone else has that same mindset.
Free speech until it doesn't agree with you.
Exactly, right?
Yep.
Period. Because in this particular situation, it has nothing to do with belief systems. It has nothing to do with grooming children and things like that. It's honestly about the safety of the next generations and having them understand their bodies and understand consent and understand how their bodies work and how to be human beings. Thank you.
Do you ever just want to take someone by the shoulders and just shake them a little
Yeah.
bit? I think
in the world that we live in, children need to understand how their bodies work.
And that's what they don't
because
want.
they don't know any better.
They don't know any
That's
better.
what they don't want. They talk like they try to convince you that the LGBT plus community is the one indoctrinating the children, when in reality they're the ones doing it because they see that this current generation is too progressive. They know they're not getting anywhere with us. So what they're trying to do, they're on their way out.
Yup. If you try to control their body, or if you try to take away the power of their bodies, then they can easily control them.
So
And that's exactly what they're
exactly.
trying to do right
So
now.
the real ones coming
Y'all
for
are
the
not
children
slick.
are them.
I agree.
Exactly.
And with
Yeah.
that being said, I think we should all just come together and just vibe. So this is Come Together by the Beatles.
Lara. I am Victor Muniz Rosa, and welcome to the morning bus.
Take over.
Take over.
Yeah, Victor.
You're fired, Lara.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Anyway,
it's like the old days, Laura.
I think it really is. Anyway, it's time for a new segment. It might be our second favorite segment on the buzz. Actually, I think it's my first favorite segment on the buzz.
Oh,
Terry,
hi.
what time is it?
It's Terry time.
Terry time.
Sorry,
Terry time?
Topper
Oh my god! It's Terry time. It's Terry
Terry
time.
time.
Let's
It's
go.
Terry
Let's go. Let's go.
This
What you
is-
got, Terry?
This is the spoof of Tauber time, which is on Tuesdays? Question mark. But anyways,
Mondays,
Yeah.
Mondays? Question mark.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Okay.
Go look out for it if you feel like it. Anyways, let's get into some stories. So Cuba Gooding Jr. pleads guilty to forcibly touching a woman, and this is just really unfortunate story in my opinion. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr., most commonly known for his performance in Boys in the Hood, has pleaded guilty to forcibly touching a woman 3 years after he was arrested. Gooding has been accused of, on several accounts, of sexual groping in nightclubs and restaurants in 2018 and 2019. This change comes after a plea deal was made that would allow Gooding to be sentenced to counseling without doing jail time. The Associated Press reports, quote, his lawyers argued that overzealous prosecutors caught up in the fervor of the hashtag #MeToo movement are trying to turn, quote, commonplace gestures or misunderstandings into crimes, end quote. That one's really annoying to me.
That's just sad.
How are you using the Me Too movement as like, oh, it's just a trend? How?
Remember what I said before break? Whenever you just want to like take someone by the shoulders and shake them a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a great example.
Cuba is one of them.
And it's really unfortunate because as people involved in the School of Communication and Media here at Montclair State, we're the next generation of the media industry, and it's really disheartening to see actors, directors, people in like all over the place be a part of the sexual misconducts across the industry. And you look at it and you get so frustrated because these people in positions of power have so much power to the point where they can take advantage of anybody. And you sit here and think, as the next generation, what can you do differently to fix the system? So I look at stories like this and I'm like, again, it's so frustrating.
You bring up a very good point. And I like how you said, oh, like, how can we fix the system? And I hope we can fix the system, but that just gets me thinking, are the older people that are already in the system what did you say? Like the system, was it the system? Was that the word?
Like the system of the media industry, essentially.
Like when we eventually like officially get in the system of the media, will we change it that much? Or are those people that are still going to be in the system going to stay the same?
I think
the
reason that comment that his lawyers made, it was so distasteful. But I think with proper thought, they could have actually made something, because I think one of the reasons why they were seeing what they think is an exaggeration is really this generation trying to like make a statement. Yes, they might use the argument. It's like, oh yeah, 20 years ago this didn't matter. Okay, yeah, 20 years ago it didn't matter, but now it does.
Right.
So one of the ways we're gonna change it is we're going to hold those people accountable. No, you may not be that same way today, but the only way we're gonna not the only way, but a clear way we can send a clear message that that's no longer acceptable is by holding you guys accountable. So maybe think about it like that instead of thinking about it like, oh, you're just trying to make something out of nothing.
Exactly. And that accountability aspect is so important, especially when they hold so much weight in this industry. It's essentially a leadership role when you're an actor, when you're a director, et cetera, et cetera.
You have a platform.
Exactly.
You have a platform. Being an actor is not the same as it used to be how many years ago, because of social media. Like when you are a public figure, you have a platform. You have your entire platform at the palm of your fingertips.
Exactly. People care about your opinion regardless if you want them to or not. People look to you for your influence because you have that platform. And when you abuse that, when you abuse the people that are around you in your circle and things like that, it's disheartening for the next generation of the media industry, because we look into our industry and we're like, we want this to be a safe community. We want to produce good content. But however, these people are abusing everything that people worked very hard to build. But on that note, we can move on to more positive stories.
Yay!
Yay! No more bad stuff.
Well,
Everyone,
Everything's better now.
everything. I hope
Everything's gonna be okay.
one day. But as of right now, Britney Spears is pregnant. Everybody, which
Woo!
She's free
Her.
and she's pregnant.
she's free and she's pregnant.
Yes.
On Monday, Britney Spears announced in an Instagram post that she is pregnant with her third child. In her
What?
post, yeah, she has 2 other children. I know. In her post, she wrote, "quote So I got a pregnancy test. ... And well, I'm having a baby." End quote. This news follows
Wow.
after Spears made a testimony to the Los Angeles Superior Court that she was forced into keeping an IUD while bound to her current or past conservatorship
I
because
didn't
she's
know
not in
that.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really a shame. I feel like forcing someone to have an IUD is a little bit of a
Extreme. It's
Mhm. It's her body. She has to decide what to do with her body. Like that doesn't make sense. It's horrible.
I agree with that statement as well, Victor. But here we are, where people control people in this world, and it's just
Yeah.
really unfortunate.
It's sad.
But she is free, which is the most important part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Go
I hope
Britney.
now that she's not involved with her conservatorship that she hopefully has a support system, resources to support this upcoming child. And having a child is hard, so it's a big transition period in her life. It's happening so fast. I hope she gets the
So
support
she
needs.
is doing it again. She's
Yeah.
having another baby.
Yo, to be
After-
honest, this is just evidence of, at least from what I can observe, like the observable, what is observable in Britney's universe. Because imagine like the feeling of just being pent up like that. Like you're screaming into
Yeah.
the void. And it's kind of just like, oh my gosh, I wonder how long, maybe perhaps, because there's the fact that it could be a surprise baby, or who knows, maybe this was something. I know that under the conservatorship, she was not allowed to have kids.
She wanted to have another child. I
She
think
did.
she mentioned
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I wasn't sure if this is
And
something she had actually been waiting for or
that she
not.
was really wanting to, but they wouldn't let her take out the IUD. So in her trial, she was like, I have this IUD in me, but I very much want to have another child. And that's something that I can't do while under this conservatorship. So it was a huge
But it's just
factor in
like,
that.
how long? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that could
Mhm.
have even been like last year, like, maybe she appealed or something. But it's like, these are the secrets that are just, they evaporate once this happens. Because I'm sure now she just wants to move on. But oh my gosh, I literally used to have like the craziest thoughts about how she may be feeling. Because once, the news came out, it was hard to connect that sweetheart that we love so much with what was actually happening, that nightmare.
Mhm.
And her dad, who's always been a nightmare, let's be real,
Mhm.
even since the dawn of her career. So, oh my goodness, I just can't. I'm just so happy for her.
Yeah.
Me too, man.
Yeah. Go
Ah,
Britney.
So do you know who else I'm happy for?
Who?
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Her.
Boricua, let's go.
I know J-Lo is engaged, and this is very, very exciting.
Oh my goodness.
So she shared
Again.
on Friday night that
Yes,
after
again.
18 years after they called off their engagement in January of 2004,
No.
she and Ben Affleck
No.
are engaged again.
Yes.
No,
They are.
you're kidding me right
I'm
now.
so serious.
Bennifer, are you kidding me?
Bennifer is
Bennifer.
back,
You're
everyone.
kidding me.
It's
You're
so
kidding me.
exciting. So she shared the engagement details on the J-Lo newsletter, in which she stated, quote, Saturday night was while at my favorite place on earth, in the bubble bath, my beautiful love got down on one knee and proposed. I was taken totally off guard and just looked in his eyes, smiling and crying at the same time, trying hard to get my head around the fact that after 20 years, this was happening all over again. I was quite literally speechless, and he said, is that a yes? I said, yes, of course, that's a yes, end quote. That's so sweet. She also shares how their connection has evolved over the past 18 years in an interview with People, stating, quote, we're older now, we're smarter, we have more experience, we're at different places in our lives, we have kids now, and we have to be very conscious of those things, end quote. So I am actually really glad for her. 20 years is a long time, though.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about that?
Yo, listen, that just tells you right there. Follow your heart, son, because
This is the definition of
Yeah.
right person, wrong time.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah.
we got to see. I literally saw this in real time. Like, I can't. You killed me right now. Like, I'm broken. My brain is broken. First of all, where's Mark Anthony? I want to know if he's happy.
Stop.
I
Well,
want to
Mark
know.
Anthony, Mark
I want to
Anthony-
know if he's happy for them. He better be not be a hater.
No, like Mark Anthony's very like what I've seen in social media. He's very supportive of not only Jennifer but obviously their children, like the children they
course.
show together. Like he's very supportive. Like they're like friends and everything. And Mark Anthony actually is in a relationship right now, like with a model. You know,
Oh,
like Mark
snap.
Anthony has had the most beautiful woman. Like he has been with the most beautiful women. It's like it's crazy.
I mean,
Because he's not
beautiful
like
woman for a
for me,
beautiful
he's not
voice.
like the most good looking guy. But like, but still,
I'll be a
He's not
judge.
Victor's type. He's not Victor's type.
no, not really.
Yeah, I'm done.
But here, well, it's good to know that Mark Anthony is not Victor's type here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Yeah, I actually want to
Top
see what Mark
there.
Anthony looks like, and my
Mm.
phone is really just
Wow.
not doing
No,
good right
like-
now.
Here's the thing: if this is your first time looking up Mark Anthony,
Oh
you
my
might want to
God.
wait till hour 2.
Well, good thing it is hour 2 right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
that's
just
why she
turned.
You know
shared
what?
it.
You know what? He's not a bad looking man.
Come on.
I just
dude.
think listen. I
He-
just think that Jennifer Lopez is way out of his league.
Yes.
Period. Well,
And-
let's be
Come on.
honest. Any man is out of Jennifer Lopez's
True.
league.
And that's the real tea because, like, come on.
Listen,
Terry
she's
time.
still
And
Jenny
that's a
from
real
the
tea.
block.
A Terry
Okay?
time.
Always be
He's
Jenny
got
from the
Steve
block.
Buscemi
Always.
eyes.
Oh my
That's
god.
what I think. He looks like that guy.
No.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Not Mark Buscemi. Oh my
Mark
god.
Buscemi.
That's what I think. Oh
Wow.
my
I
god.
I think this needs to
Speaking of, okay, listen, speaking of Buscemi, this is kind of adjacent, but speaking of Buscemi, Gilbert Godfrey died, guys.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, he did.
Yes,
He died
so-
on Wednesday, I think.
Thursday.
Yeah. No,
Oh
Thurs-
my
Tuesday,
goodness.
yeah.
Can y'all even
Tuesday, yeah.
imagine? Can y'all even imagine that?
That was really
You
disheartening.
guys. Yeah, I cannot believe it. He was really a gem.
Yeah, and for people who don't know him, he was on Cyber Chase, Fairly Odd Parents. You had him on, I think, Aladdin as well.
Aladdin,
House
yes,
of
yeah.
Bird.
Yep.
Ugh.
Oh my
He was
gosh.
the Affleck duck. He's
The
He
awesome.
passed
Affleck, yeah, he
away?
was.
That's so sad.
Wow.
Wow, the Affleck.
He passed
duck.
away at 67.
He
Yeah,
was
he had
not
a-
even
That's kind
old.
of
Like,
young.
it
Yeah.
was
He had a
young.
very he had some kind of dystrophy where it attacks your like pancreas and your heart. And he's
No.
been it was like a long illness too.
It
That's
was.
a shame.
I was gonna say it was said to quote. It was a long illness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A long
Um,
illness, yet he was
yeah.
giving till the very end. Like, are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah, like
Yeah. he was
if you
on-
don't know who he is, like
Ugh.
find videos of him. He's like the most hilarious person, and obviously
Yeah. One
of
his
the dirtiest
voice, his
comments.
voice is so
And
iconic.
The
like-
full name of his condition, I just looked it up, is ventricular tachycardia caused by myotonic dystrophy type 2. That's a
Nah,
little
that
long.
is not a fun way to go. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
he-
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace for
actually.
real, yo.
Gosh,
Legend,
goat.
legendary
Yeah.
status. Like,
most
are you
of the
serious?
jokes we cannot tell on air,
No,
but he's
no,
one of the
but he's-
funniest
yeah.
man.
See him doing roast and like, yeah, you're dying.
And
laughing.
it's so
Yeah.
sad
Yeah.
because not only him, but earlier this year we lost Bob Saget, who was
Mhm.
Bruh.
Yup.
Yeah.
one of like they were best friends with also Norm Macdonald, like the funniest comedians that are just
Honey,
getting,
I'm
like,
still trying to
kicked
get
off
over
of-
Robin Williams.
Oh,
Like,
girl, me
please, okay,
too.
please. I'm not over a lot of.
The Genie and Iago or
Oh my God! No, no.
Tears.
Why would he do that?
Anyway,
Tears.
you're still listening to the
Wow.
Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. That's been Terry time.
Terry
And it is
time!
time to move on to the newscast, Terry, before I start to cry.
Oh, that's so true.
Honestly.
Hi,
Yes.
I'm also doing the newscast. Isn't that so exciting?
DJ
Yes.
Hey, DJ things. All right. So in national news on Wednesday, video was released regarding the shooting of Patrick Lyoya, sorry, a 26-year-old black man who was killed by a Michigan police officer after being shot in the back of the head during a violent traffic stop on April 4th. According to the Associated Press, quote, video shows Lyoya running from the officer who stopped him from driving with a license plate that didn't belong to the vehicle. They struggled in front of several homes while Lyoya, oh my God, passenger got out and watched, end quote. Despite the video evidence, it's still unclear how the situation escalated so quickly and why the amount of force was used on the matter. Prosecutor Chris Becker stated that, quote, while the video released today are important pieces of evidence, they are not all of the evidence, end quote. In response to the murder, over 100 people marched in Grand Rapids City Hall in which Leoya was murdered, chanting Black Lives Matter and no justice, no peace. Here in New Jersey on Tuesday, 18-year-old Mike Natoli was charged with creating false public alarm terrorist threats after calling the Bergen County High School and threatening to bring a gun to a sports team's practice. Natoli used technology to conceal the number, with the Bergen County prosecutor's office describing it as a quote hoax threat. The high school's campus has been secured and is not being named by authorities or prosecutors at this time. In local news here in Montclair on Sunday, a Hamilton man carjacked a woman on Glen Ridge Avenue. He was identified later that day after he was caught shoplifting from the Claremont Avenue CVS. The 43-year-old suspect was charged with carjacking, 2 counts of shoplifting, and refusal to submit to fingerprinting. This case remains under investigation, and those involved are uninjured. And for extended weather, it is currently 62 degrees with a high of 83 degrees. Wow, and a low of 53 degrees. Tomorrow we have a high of 68 degrees and a low of 47 degrees. Saturday we have a high of 69 degrees and a low of 49 degrees. Sunday we have a high of 43 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. Monday we have a high of 50 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. Tuesday we have a high of 53 degrees and a low of 42 degrees. Wednesday we have a high of 59 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. And on Thursday we have a high of 59 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. And that is all from the news update today.
News update.
Thank you.
News. Tara, that was great.
Thank you.
That's some New Jersey weather if I haven't heard it.
I
Well, it's
know.
always the New Jersey weather, but news is great. But you know what's also great?
What?
Sports.
Sports.
Go Mets.
And we're not there yet, Victor, but in baseball news, now we're at it. The Mets have been on a hot streak recently, winning 5 out of the 7 games they played. They beat the Phillies 9-5 last night. Sadly, cannot be said about the Yankees, who lost to the Blue Jays last night 6-4. But the Yankees will try to pick up a win tonight when they play against the Blue Jays at 7. And in hockey, it's official. The New York Rangers have clinched the playoff spot, but they still played a game last night, beating the Philadelphia Flyers 4-0. And the New Jersey Devils will play tonight against the Colorado Avalanche at 9 o'clock. And in basketball, it is a good day to be a New Yorker because you know who made it to the NBA playoffs? The Brooklyn Nets are going against the Celtics on Sunday, April 17th at 3:30. And congrats to Scotty Shafir, who won the Masters this last weekend. And he's the first New Jersey born to win the Masters. So good on him and good for New Jersey.
Good for you.
And in Montclair sports, we got some good in Montclair sports because the Montclair softball team destroyed Rutgers Camden last night 10-2 in an amazing game. And the news just keeps on getting better because Montclair baseball faced off against Ramapo. And they just didn't beat them once. They beat them twice. In the first game, destroying Ramapo 14-5. And in the second game, squeaking out a win 5-4. But the Redhawks will be back at Yogi Bear Stadium this Thursday, I guess that's today, at New Jersey City at 3:30 p.m. I'm Alex, and this has been Sports.
Go Mets. Go Mets.
Sports.
Thanks,
Love
Alex.
sports.
Sports are great. Anyway, we're going to be moving on to some entertainment news. Yay!
Ooh.
More entertainment news. I am a big entertainment person. My mom got me into entertainment news.
She's entertaining.
That's so funny. If I had the soundboard, I would do a.
Is Taryn listening right now?
I don't think she is. She's at work.
Is Linda listening?
Probably.
Hi, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
Hi. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Urza Miller and the restraining order that has been filed against him, but not anymore. The Hawaii couple who filed a temporary restraining order against Urza Miller have dropped it 2 weeks later. On March 29th, the 2 Gila residents filed for a temporary restraining order against the 29-year-old, according to court documents obtained by People, that claimed Miller harassed and threatened them. According to the Associated Press, the restraining order was dismissed by a judge on Monday per the couple's request. William Dean, an attorney representing the couple, confirmed to People that his clients decided to dismiss the temporary restraining order. The previous complaint alleged that Miller burst into the bedroom of the couple and threatened them. The document claimed Miller stole some of the alleged victim's personal belongings, including a social security card, a wallet, a passport, a driver's license, and even bank cards. Miller had allegedly been staying at the couple's home while in Hawaii after one of them met the actor at a farmer's market. Sources told the outlet that the couple bailed Miller out of jail on a $500 bond following the actor's arrest at a karaoke bar when the actor was charged with disorderly conduct and harassment over 2 incidents. Well,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
That
Yes.
was beautiful.
my ADJ, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, Victor and the
How do you
soundboard.
really-
Nice.
I assume as an actor as famous as Miller is, you probably have about, I don't know, money.
My mom is listening.
And it's
She
a,
says hi. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I had to say it.
and it's a $500 bond. So how
Yeah.
do you bail I'm assuming, multiple dollar actor out of jail? I don't that part. I'm surprised that part sticks out to me.
I do
above
wonder.
all of this.
I do wonder if Urza Miller like Venmoed them the $500 back.
Venmo.
Be like, hey, like thanks
Hey,
for
like-
bailing me out. Can I like Venmo you
What's
that?
your Zelle?
You got Cash App?
Do you have do you have PayPal?
PayPal.
I might need to
I'm
do
gonna wire you the money. Y'all have seen Anna.
out of pocket. Anyway, I know they were in the Flash. Oh, Mike Foley, our assistant engineer, texted me and he said, "Man, they dropped a restraining order like the Flash."
Oh.
Got him.
Wow.
Oh, that was a good
Oh
one,
my
Mike.
God.
Mike, that was pretty.
Nice.
Mike, that
Oh
was
my
I'm so
pretty.
proud.
Mike, that was pretty fantastic. Beast and where to find. Him.
Oh.
Oh
Is that
my
coming out today?
gosh.
Or no, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I
Tomorrow.
can't wait.
I'll
Yeah,
be
Rico's
honest.
today.
Let's just segue a little bit to Harry Potter. I don't think we needed.
Oh.
I don't think we needed it.
Can I say something?
Yes, you
before?
can. Yes,
Thank
you
you
can.
for
Me-
saying
me
the
and-
unspoken.
What's Ezra or
Ezra, yeah.
Ezra Miller have the same birthday.
Happy birthday.
September 30th. We have the same birthday.
Yeah, should I be
He was
worried?
born 11 years before me.
Well, you're both Libras.
Should I be
guess
worried,
so.
Alex?
Yep, I'm going to Hawaii this summer.
Oh.
Go to the Disney
Uh-oh.
World October 3rd. So
Nice. Anyway,
Stay away from
we're
farmers market.
gonna go back to Harry Potter because I want to go back to Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter.
Okay,
wanna
where
go
do
back
we
to
begin?
Harry Potter.
Where do we
I
begin?
personally, we don't like J.K. Rowling.
No.
Duh. No, we do not. No.
Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe. wrote the series.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, we don't like J.K. Rowling. Just she's a bad person.
Well, we like Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
We do.
Rupert
he's
Grint.
pretty
And
rad.
Emma Watson.
got him. Oh
Yeah,
God.
Emma Watson.
Thank you, Victor. I was waiting for that
Yeah,
one.
of course.
Dobby is a free elf.
But like,
And
we
Dobby
didn't.
has come to persecute J.K. Rowling.
Honestly, we didn't need Fantastic Beasts.
I agree. I think if they had
I
done a
liked
little
it.
bit better with the second movie, I would say, yeah, Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
But like
they didn't.
the second movie wasn't giving what it needed to give.
They made more than
No.
one movie.
They did.
Yeah.
This is the third
Yeah.
one that's
There's
coming
gonna
out.
be 5.
I thought it was just
Really?
Dumbledore.
I thought it was like a trilogy. Damn.
No, there's gonna be 5. This
That's
is
Five?
Wait, wait,
this is
wait.
supposed to go up to 1942.
Are we
and it's only
referring to
30.
Secrets of Dumbledore and the other one, or are they
No.
all
We got
just
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald. Fantastic
then
Beasts,
Secrets
and
of
then tomorrow, Fantastic Beasts,
Yeah.
Secrets of Dumbledore.
Okay, the Secrets
Yeah.
of Dumbledore one looks semi-interesting because I love Dumbledore.
Honestly, my new
Dumbledore.
rap name is Fantastic Beast, so that's all
Oh,
I gotta say.
nice.
But
Is
they-
Fantastic
From
Beasts
Young Daddy
releasing
to
an album?
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, damn near immediately.
But sadly,
Dump,
Johnny.
dump, dump, dump.
Essentially, when they do end up rebooting Harry Potter in the next decade, like they do with everything, we need Winky the House Elf to make an appearance. in the
Yes.
movie.
Oh,
Yay.
Also, I would like to know why is the
Culture.
Chamber of Secrets the longest movie but the shortest book? Let me
Mm.
know. And you know
Tea.
what? They left things out of the book that they did not put in the movies.
It's also the
Thank you.
weakest
She's
out of the
angry.
saga, but that's just my hot take.
I'm very angry.
Genuinely.
Ooh,
Genuinely
Why
tomato.
are you
tomato,
bullying me? I'm
tomato.
right.
Any Harry Potter buzz theories out there?
And that's just a theory.
Oh,
of
Harry
a
Potter buzz
theory.
theory.
Fantastic Beast series could have been better
It
as a
could've.
whole.
Yes, I
think.
agree.
Because I think
really
it's
like
cool
the
for it to be
Fantastic Beasts.
set in the United States and have that aspect of
Me
the wizarding world.
too.
However, it just didn't
Stick.
it didn't stick because they had a lot of like big shoes to fill, one for one. But I don't know. There was something
It's-
about the writing that wasn't really
It's not the same.
it's
It was
not
like
the
a money
same.
grab, I think. Like it was like,
Oh, it's
oh,
always a
Harry
money
Potter. Like, Harry
grab.
Potter makes money. Let's like just
Exactly.
make
It's
this.
always a money
Because they want to
grab.
keep the Harry Potter franchise alive.
I-
So they're trying to find different ways to
Honestly,
do that.
there's no killing that franchise. You have an amusement park. The writer is a horrible person, and they still have devoted fans.
Mhm.
Like it's the fact that, like, okay, yeah, the creator might not be the ideal person, but we're still gonna love our childhood. We're just not gonna associate with the writer. Like, how do you write the author out of
That was that a
legacy?
pun, JT?
It can be if you want it to be.
That was a good one.
All right.
Before
I guess I'm the I guess I'm the minority because I really like
You're what?
the
You
minority.
what?
Actually, I mean,
Yeah,
technically,
please.
yeah, I am here.
I would like to
What?
note that Victor is my prodigy with the sound effects right now.
Yeah, when I get on the board, I can't hold up to this.
No,
But I thoroughly enjoyed Crimes of Grindelwald and Fantastic Beasts. I thought they were really good movies.
Yeah.
Names of
Also, back to Ezra Miller. He's from Wyckoff, New Jersey.
He is.
Yeah.
What?
So that's
Jersey boy.
like 30 minutes from my house. So me and him are like pretty the same.
Dude, wait.
Unacceptable!
It
We
really
live-
is. You're giving us a bad rep, Mr.
How
Ezra
far is
Miller.
Wyckoff?
No,
That's
Jersey
some
Shore
age.
gave us a bad rep 10 years ago.
Where is that? Is that Central?
No, that's like right next to my town.
Oh, God.
Wyckoff is right next to Franklin.
I was about to say if
Lakes.
it's Central, then it doesn't.
Lakes.
Honestly,
so
I'm
mean. I'm so
really,
sorry.
I'm really not over Jersey boy. Like I'm not.
Jersey
I'm
boy.
never gonna get over
Right
that.
next to Wayne.
I'm an island boy. The name of my island boy.
We have a map of New Jersey up.
Yeah!
Isn't Lil Jon also from Jersey?
Yeah.
No, it's not over there.
Here's Ramapo.
How's everyone doing today? I want to know how everyone's doing.
We're great. And you know why we're great?
Because SGA debates are today here at Montclair State University.
Oh snap!
Do you guys want to know who the candidates are?
Yeah.
All right. So running for executive secretary, we have Krisha Rana. Running for
Ooh.
executive treasurer, we have Diana Anyansi. I'm
You
so
go,
sorry, girl, if
Diana.
I pronounce that wrong.
Diana.
Running for vice president, we have Kate Mora.
Let's go,
And
Kate.
our two candidates for executive president are Richard Steiner Otu and James Olantunji.
So
Hi,
who's gonna do
James.
it, Richard or James?
We don't know.
Well, I guess we'll have to find
We'll
out,
have to find
especially
out.
on the Monday and Tuesday buzz.
Yeah.
So y'all
settle
should tune
blood.
in then. We're gonna take a very short break and we're gonna
Very
swap ADJs. So
Yay!
that'll be fun.
Story time part 2.
Anyway, Victor, whenever you're ready, take us out, my guy.
Let's go.
You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Tune in anytime, anywhere.
And we are back here on the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. We have switched ADJs, everybody. It's Terry time part 2. Are you so excited? I'm so excited. All right, so our next little segment, which is really exciting, is one of my favorites. Are you guys in the mood for Am I in the Wrong?
Am I in the wrong?
We haven't done that.
We haven't done. You guys haven't done that?
No,
It's
we
usually
always do confessions.
It's usually a Friday Buzz specialty, but since there's no Friday Buzz tomorrow,
as a
I
rep for-
thought we could all decide if this user's in the wrong.
Because Good Friday and Passover is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
I'm
So-
just gonna go on a
Good
limb and
Friday.
assume everybody's in the wrong.
Happy
Because
holidays.
if we need
Great.
this segment,
Very holy day tomorrow.
you're in the wrong.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, listeners, join us as we deep dive into the world of Reddit and we
Yeah.
listen to people's stories. These are not our
Hope you
own
can swim.
submissions. These are the submissions of people on Reddit, but we're just going to give our opinions on them. Everybody ready?
No.
How about now?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
Give me a second. All right, let's go.
So, am I in the wrong for yelling at my husband's mother for announcing my pregnancy using my husband's Facebook account?
Yes.
Rough start. So I, female 23, found out that I was pregnant very recently. It was not planned, and my husband and I are trying to make a decision regarding going through with the pregnancy. Here's the thing. I told him not to tell anyone, but he ended up telling his mom, but made her swear she won't tell. He didn't tell her we weren't sure about it, but just to stay quiet. Well, she begged and begged that to announce it on her Facebook under the guise of using our permission. But I said absolutely not and lied and said my husband and I wanted to announce it ourselves later if we decided to go through with it. Just a day ago, I found out she logged into my husband's Facebook account and dropped the bomb, made the announcement, and yes, she pretended to be my husband behind our back. I was floored. I called her and she said she figured if she made the announcement using one of our social media accounts, then we won't mind, and it still looked like we made the announcement. But like I stated earlier, we're still trying to make a decision. I lost my temper and yelled at her, which made her cry. I said she overstepped and messed up completely, then hung up. My husband came into the room yelling about my poor treatment and abuse towards his mom. I told him his mom violated our privacy and put us in more pressure to finally make a decision for the baby, since the family are now calling to say congratulations. He said that it was his Facebook, so none of my privacy was quote unquote violated, and that I shouldn't have yelled at her, hurt her feelings, and made her cry no matter what, period. He demanded I apologize and we'll talk about the pregnancy later, but I didn't give an answer and refused when he tried to force me to go to her house and grovel with apologies.
Wow.
Am I in the wrong?
No.
Not in the wrong.
No.
Not in the
No.
wrong.
I am in full support of yelling at old people when they're in the wrong because they think they're immune. And I think, no, it's about time somebody, and I appreciate that this woman had the goal, the
audacity. Yeah.
Yes.
We had a story.
The noise.
JT supports yelling at old people.
We had a story similar to this
Headline.
for our last week's Am I in the Wrong? And it's just a matter of setting boundaries with your in-laws. I
Mhm.
don't know
None.
why. Is literally last week's story.
I'm male
The guy
20
said
support.
that to his fiance that his mom comes first before his fiance, and that there should
See,
be
but-
boundaries between the mom and the son with her fiance instead of with
But
the fiance.
see, that's the thing. These baby boys,
the baby boys.
the baby boys are giving like
It's giving
mama's
a-
boy, and it's
Mhm.
giving teacher's pet, but the teacher is your mom. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing? What are
I
you
feel
doing?
like I can
You're
understand it.
married. You're married.
Exactly. and
Like I understand it. My girlfriend is this opposite with me. I say all the time, I have no problem telling my own mom when she's in the wrong, and vice versa. My girlfriend, on the other hand, is
But
completely
see,
a
they're
mom's
not
girl.
doing that though. I feel like if it's your parent, it's your responsibility, and you need to take responsibility for that. Like,
Exactly.
like, are you serious? You're gonna drag a whole nother human woman into the story just to ignore her, essentially, or to not make, because that to me is not a partner. All of a sudden, it becomes some weird inverted family dynamic because people are trying to honor their mothers to the point where they're not
Mhm.
respecting their spouse. Please don't get that confused for y'all listening. Like, come on now. When you pick somebody to spend your life with, they come first. That's the kind of the whole thing about it.
Exactly.
It's leaving your home
Mhm.
and making your own. And I'm telling you right now, the nerve of somebody that would do that. And then of course him protecting it, him trying to, this is amazing. Like sometimes I wonder if people are just making this up to make people's blood boil, because like this is it's hard to wrap my head around this being a real person that did this.
Loyalty, okay, loyalty gets confused. Like loyalty in general, people think you need to be loyal to the point of defending your family or friend in the right or wrong. Listen, I love you, all you guys, with a passion. But if you're in the wrong, I'm not defending you if somebody puts you in your place.
It's
That
all
goes
about
for my friends. That goes for my mom. That goes for my girlfriend. Like if they done something to you and you set them in their place, it is not my I might not like how you come, because I'm not gonna like anybody talking to my friends or like somebody I care about in a disrespectful way. But if I can see why they did it, I'm not gonna sit there and say, no, you were wrong for doing that, when like there was clearly a reason.
Exactly. It's all about that accountability aspect. Real, true relationships, platonic or romantic, should have that accountability aspect, and that comes with respect. And in this situation, this woman was not being respected by her husband or the mother-in-law at all.
It's just like, how dare you yell at my mother who violated your privacy?
Exactly.
Right. No, but here's my thing. He told the mother and told her not to tell. So he's actually the root of the problem. And by the way, that would not be my fiance anymore, because bring kids into it, bring, the pitfalls that we experience just on the natural journey of life. You do not have somebody that's going to ride with you. And he told you that from the jump.
Yeah.
He told you that from the very beginning.
And they're already married.
Listen.
Right. And they're already married.
Yeah, see, no.
Like, how do you dedicate your life and all of a sudden your wife is about to have a baby or thinking about making that decision of what to do with the child, and you're just jumping the gun and telling people that you shouldn't be telling yet because you haven't made a decision? Do you not feel
and that's what I mean.
It's out of pocket.
And that's what I mean.
Disrespectful.
And now, everything in society, we're dealing with, we've been dealing with abortion issues for so long. And just for the fact that, I can't imagine the pressure one way or another now to make a decision. You took away somebody's choice. You know what I mean? Because now, however she goes about it, people know more information than they were really supposed to be privy to. And I just cannot imagine living a pregnancy I'm not sure about actually as a spectacle for the people that know me.
I think if I use your account, you won't be mad at me.
I gotta say, I think the mother-in-law is 100% pro-life. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Lara can smell it on this post.
Reddit's vote.
But that's the thing. I don't know if it's pro-life.
She did that because she was scared they were gonna.
Yes.
Yes. Well, my whole thing is
wrong,
some people are really delusional when they want grandkids too. Let's not forget that.
Exactly.
Especially if they want a do-over. But
and
anyway,
plus, she's this is my last thought. Plus, what is she, 23?
Oh my gosh,
that's young, bro.
That's so young.
And
I love how she said,
"Is she 23?"
Wait, they all look like that.
Yeah, the poster's 23.
Wow, that's young.
That's very young.
That's why I really do think the mother-in-law is pro-choice, and I'm sorry, pro-life. And Reddit's vote is she's not in the wrong.
Not in the wrong.
Of course not.
The wife is not in the wrong.
Absolutely
the mother-in-law
not.
is. Anyway, we're gonna be moving on to our last. Am I in the wrong?
Yay! So, am I in the wrong for asking my sister to stop fostering dogs so she could help me with my kids?
Can I read?
Yeah.
Thanks, Cookie. Am I in the wrong? Okay, just writing the title makes me feel super guilty, but please hear me out before judging too harshly. I, 38 female, have 4 kids aged 11, 3, 5, and 10. I love them more than anything, but I'll be the first to admit that our house is in constant chaos and it can get very exhausting. My sister, 33 female, is child-free, but loves my kids and was happy to watch the two older ones, or sometimes 3, to help keep my sanity. This has been extremely helpful, and I can tell her all the time how grateful we are for her help. The thing is that the kids used to go over her house, but right now they couldn't because my sister is fostering an elderly chihuahua. My sister claims she couldn't have My sister claims she couldn't have them over for the time being because that would stress out the dog, understandably so. Her dog was extremely frail and so timid, and so I think it was a fair assessment. So this is the 4th dog she had fostered, which all couldn't be around my kids. This is the most recent dog took 8 months to find a home for, but most of the dogs took even longer. When she told me about how she found an adopter, I knew I could finally breathe a sigh of relief and joked about how I was glad that she could babysit again. My sister proceeded to tell me that there was a second dog that desperately needed a new foster, so she planned to take in that one as soon as her current dog was gone. So she couldn't do any more babysitting that she already is. Sometimes she comes over my house in the morning to help out or whatever. I could literally feel my stress spike. I haven't ever done this before, but how I opened up to her about how much I've been struggling since she got the dog, how little sleep I get each night, how my husband hasn't been helping as much as he should, and some other deeply personal issues that I have been struggling with. I asked her point blank not to get another dog or not to foster another dog. She comforted me, but ultimately didn't agree on anything, said she needed some time to think. Understandable. I know I'm asking a lot of her since her rescuing dogs is a passion, and that is why I feel so guilty. But I don't have anyone else to help me. I can't afford a babysitter long term, and my friends and I have all their own kids to look after. Above all, my kids would always come before a dog, and that is the reason why I'm willing to request it. I've told different people the situation and gotten a wide, heavily biased opinions. So that's why I decided to come here and on Reddit and decide, was it unreasonable? I would have never demanded her to do this if she didn't want to, but is it really so wrong to be honest about my situation? I have an opinion.
I also have an opinion.
I have an opinion.
I have an
If you
opinion.
can't, if you can't watch all these, if you can't watch all these children, if you can't watch 4 children, don't have them.
Exactly.
Period.
Excuse me. First of all, let's talk about the entire father that's in the corner diddling his thumbs, twiddling his thumbs, and
Where are you at?
scratching his knees, as my dad would say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, I can understand if she was a single mother and she was like at her limit. I would understand only so far that it gets frustrating and you're expressing yourself to your sister, though that would absolutely not entitle you to her time and energy. But there is an entire man behind this.
Exactly.
What you need to do, okay, not to tell you how to live
Where's
your
that
life,
man?
but you need to hold that man responsible.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the future of that lady. If she has that baby with that guy that said everything to his mother, you're going to be taking care of 4 kids by yourself with no help, not even from the grandmother, holding your younger sister accountable for the kids that you decided to make.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't take. Okay, so this is obviously her passion in life. She doesn't have kids. She probably either is dating or looking for a husband or whatever.
Just kind of
she
doing her own
believes.
thing.
Just like do her own thing. This is her passion. You gotta let her live her own life. You gotta let her
Yeah.
She's
go.
not
She's not
obligated.
your
And she offered to
babysitter.
help, like if she can. Like she's
She's
like,
yeah,
you
she
know.
seems like she's
Exactly.
trying to help anywhere she can, like in the mornings and stuff.
Right.
So yes, you are in the wrong, lady.
Yeah.
She's very much in the wrong.
Very much.
But like, oh, that just makes me that just makes me so it just makes me so angry. It's just like, as
Please.
a person who loves animals, I love animals. I've actually volunteered at a dog shelter a few times, and those dogs need fosters to take care of them.
do.
And I've unfortunately seen dogs at their worst, and it's just really sad. And they need foster homes to help get them to their forever home. And the fact that she's almost trying to like, I know she's not doing this deliberately, like, oh, like, but like the dog, they need those fosters. And she's almost like, oh, like poor me in my situation. Well, go tell your husband to do something and stop sitting in the corner, like Olive said.
Yeah. How about you go walk the dog, you trade the dog for the kids, because it sounds like mom
That's
it
a
sounds like
good,
mom needs to go on a long walk with an old chihuahua to get right.
No, for real.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you switch a little perspective there and
Yeah.
we'll get the ball back rolling.
There's too much of a theme of guys not doing what they gotta do.
That's literally all. That's what
To
I feel that all.
To
I
the
ever
men in the
wanted.
studio, learn from this.
Oh,
Please
I'm
learn.
learning.
Take
I'm
notes,
learning.
please.
We're gonna
I think I'm good. I learned from my own
What?
dad.
guys, new segment, the
Wait,
bare
okay.
minimum files.
Yo,
Where we literally okay,
that's a good one.
where we literally just dissect, because here's the thing, when I feel like people listening and you know, it's like you don't want to be that guy, so you're gonna, when you start hearing these stories and your blood starts to hit a mild boil, you're gonna be like evaluating how you treat people. I think. I mean, if we get these bare minimum files rolling, it's kind of like we serve a blueprint for those people that are not self-aware. Because I feel like that's where it begins. Because if you could see yourself being this person, if you could really see yourself asking your sister not to take care of old dogs that need her because you don't have your life managed,
like get it
properly.
together.
Come on, like stop
Exactly.
it. Because when you hear it outside of your own head, you start to be like, wow, that person's whatever. Then you got to look in the mirror and be like, is that me? And in her case, it is.
Yeah, because
So,
pretty much no one wants to be with a scrub, right? Nobody wants to be with a scrub.
period,
And on
period.
that note, we're gonna take a little break because here's No Scrubs by TLC.
Oh, snap. Oh.
Expo is in the room.
In the room.
No scrubs. No scrubs.
That was a good transition. Love that.
Yeah.
No sound effects though.
That was really fun. That was really fun here on the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Don't be a scrub. That was really fun. We got really lit in the studio. Like,
We really did. The Mennonites really got a view of
No,
it.
seriously. No, I got some moves. Laura got some moves. But
Yeah.
Laura, what's going on with these funny stories? Weird
Oh my
stories?
gosh.
What's going on?
These are the stories that you have missed on mainstream media. But the Morning Buzz has the joy of bringing to you each morning. Now, I would like to start off with this one. I think the circumstance is weird, but the underlying issue is important, should be addressed. So this is going to be a transition into a weird. So a professor allegedly, wow, thanks, Mike One. A professor allegedly called the cops on two students for being late. A Georgia State University professor allegedly called the campus police to remove a pair of students who were late to class. According to NBCnews.com, Professor Clarissa Gray contacted police after asking the tardy students to leave for class. The students, Taylor and Cameron, are women of color, as is the professor. Myra Blake, a Georgia State University student, emphasized on TikTok a video from Wednesday that the lateness was a catalyst for Gray calling security. However, she says the pair refused Gray's request to leave the class because they had paid to be there.
understandably so.
Yeah.
So the issue that the pair weren't late, it was their resistance. Nevertheless, Blake rips the cops' actions, such as taking possession of Taylor's belonging, until she agrees to leave. She said Taylor believed Gray called the police in relation for an incident between the two from an incident from earlier in the semester. She doesn't elaborate on what happened. Both Taylor and Cameron allegedly began crying during the incident and were terrified of what could happen to them. The university said it was investigating the matter. Quote, campus police arrived after being called by the faculty member and immediately de-escalated the situation between students and the faculty member. Clearly, no crime had been committed, and so were there no arrests. The Telegraph reports Gray is no longer teaching in-person classes, and that the provost on campus police chief said have reached out to meet with the affected students.
Good.
I can't imagine. The main reason of why I put this in, because we're obviously all college students, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that it just escalated that intensely.
Yeah.
Okay, like we all been late at least once, like by accident to a class.
Exactly.
And
Or
then
on purpose. Give-
They don't have to know that, Terry.
No, Terry.
My
come
mom
on.
was-
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, let's say that you slept a little too late and you had to go to class. No, but like imagine you go to class and your teacher goes, nope, you can't come into class, you're late. And like if it's the finals, like maybe if it's like you're taking a huge test,
Yeah,
that's
that-
understandable. Like, you're distracting other people. But if it's like some class, like let's say week 3,
Like,
and
come on.
before midterms, nothing really counts. Like, it's just like you get kicked out, and then it's like, no, obviously we're all paying to be here. We all pay to be
Obviously.
in
Yeah.
college, and we go to all our classes, and then you go, no, we can't be here, and you're like, no, I paid for you to teach me. Now teach me. And he goes, no, I don't want to. I'm gonna call the police now on you. Get out.
That's just not fair.
I would
That's
be like,
doing a lot.
no.
And I feel like as adults, if people are late, people are late. And if you don't want your students to be late, just handle them accordingly in terms of their grades, their participation grades, and et cetera, et cetera. This is just very blown out of proportion. I feel
I
like
agree.
it's
they're
more
probably gonna
excessive
drop the class.
force and excessive steps that need to be taken when you
Yeah.
could literally just talk it out with your student. Be like,
Mhm.
I would prefer you not be late. And this
Please.
is going to dock off of your participation or grade or whatever the situation may be. But this is a lot for what reason exactly?
No reason.
You're
Yeah.
utilizing
No reason.
campus police, which is a resource for people's safety, to talk about lateness for a student. I think that the teacher not teaching in-person classes, that's completely justified because you misused university resources. Those people could have been reporting to a different incident on campus.
Exactly. But they had to deal with that instead.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's just not fair
It's
at all.
unnecessary.
Yeah, this is obviously when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I used to be late a lot. So I imagine like getting late to class and then like, oh, the police is here. Like we're gonna call the police because you're late.
Exactly.
As a student, you're just like, probably like you don't know like the issue of why they were late. Like maybe it was something important and like
Mhm.
why call the police? That's so unnecessary.
Exactly.
I like to imagine it was also like 8:15 class. So like also you're like half asleep.
Those
you're
are
just
rough.
like you like pulled yourself out of bed. You walked maybe like the 15 minutes the
Oh yeah.
hall
From
and
your
you're,
dorm
like,
to the
probably,
class.
Yeah, like
It
you're
would have been an 8 a.m.
It
and,
would
like,
have
5
truly.
minutes away. You're like 5 minutes late. You like apologize walking in. They're like, "Mm-mm, not in my class.
Or like you don't even say anything, you just walk in. But that's just like I just
Hey,
depends
how
who it is.
How y'all doing?
How y'all doing?
You walk in
Anyway,
and be like, what up?
in lighter news, Alex has some sports news.
I have some sports.
Oh.
I get to read some special news.
Because Alex gets to
Sports.
read a weird news story.
You know, the
every
buzz
week.
really, as I think it's made my mind a little change on reading.
Yeah.
Some reading is good.
Oh my goodness. In a matter of weeks, we
Alex
love
said-
reading.
Alex said he likes to read.
I never said I
Wow.
like to read. I said it might have like changed my mind a tad.
Okay,
I'll take it.
that's
I'll
the
take
that's
it.
the
character
first.
development.
Yep, that's the
That-
first
that's
step.
progress.
My
Yes.
character arc.
Oh my gosh.
Frito-Lay's introduces Cracker Jills to honor women's in sports. Frito-Lay's is honoring women in big donation. Victor, in big donation to Women's in Sports Foundation, and special edition a bag of Cracker Jills. Cracker Jacks is is committing $200,000 to the foundation and is also asking fans to donate. Those who donate at least $5 will get a bag of Cracker Jills. The company says the iconic baseball snack celebrates women who break down barriers in sports. Tina Mall, vice president of marketing and Frito-Lay's in North America, said, quote, "We are constantly inspired by many women who are making history by breaking the mold, and we want to celebrate their achievement while supporting the progress. Cracker Jacks has been a part of the sports for over a century. As a record, we as records were made, the rules changed. We have been so inspired by how girls and women are changing the face of the game. So in spirit to introduce Cracker Jills shows girls that they are represented even in the most iconic snacks, and there will be 5 different Cracker Jills bag. You can also find them at professional ballparks around the country. There better be a prize at the bottom of the bag.
Women in sports.
Women in sports. We love to
Women in
see it.
I love the
in
message. I love
sports.
everything, but the name really, oh my life,
It's
it
not
really
the
got me.
best.
It's not
Yeah.
the best.
Y'all want to know really good women in sports? Lara caught a football yesterday.
She did.
No, I didn't catch it. I threw it.
Yeah.
She played the sports, guys.
Wow.
I am the sport. I am football.
Full
Women in
jock.
sports.
Women in sports.
We know also women in STEM.
Women in STEM.
Women in STEM, yes.
Also women in
Women-
film. Women
yeah.
in
Yo,
film.
women everywhere. please.
Women.
It's ladies' night.
Hey,
the
hands up,
ladies'
ready?
night.
Yep, yep.
I feel like it could have been
Yeah.
like. I feel like it could have been like Cracker
Our music
Jackies.
librarian.
Cracker
Yeah,
Jack.
There you
that's a
go.
better
I think
name.
they tried to win with like the Jack and Jill, but when you
I
add the
get it,
S,
but-
it just changes everything.
No.
Cracker Jackies is cute.
Cracker
Yeah, it kind of
Jackies
cracked me
is.
up. I'm
Wait,
like,
first of all, is Cracker Jill's just Cracker Jacks? But
Yes.
Yeah.
labeled? I just wanted to make sure that I heard correctly because I mean it's still yummy. At least they didn't try to mess with the formula.
I think Cracker Jacks. What are Cracker Jacks?
they're
Take?
like,
They're caramel popcorn with
Uh-huh.
peanuts
Yeah,
thrown in.
Ooh, I've had them before. I just don't know what they are.
they're good. That's where they are.
Take
Exactly,
me out to the
exactly.
ball game. Take me out to the ground.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jills.
Okay.
There you
Ew.
go.
What?
I'm
I
scared.
gotta say,
I'm really
I gotta
scared.
say, that cracked me up.
Ah,
I would do the badum tiss if I knew how to do it.
that's
I
some
would
nut-
do the barantes. I love that.
that's some
But
nutty
badum
humor.
tiss. But
Not the barantes.
Wait, I'm gonna tell the joke again. I'm gonna give you the cue. I'm gonna give you the cue. I gotta say, that cracked me up.
Yay, purr.
That was a pretty nutty joke, Victor.
Ah, shit.
We have fun here on the Thursday. morning.
Would you say we get it popping?
Now that was pretty corny.
Oh, God.
Sounds like a home run to me.
Yeah, definitely hit it out of the park with that one.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
I don't know why you guys all
Nice
credit. You
shot.
all just see that.
Oh God. JT, next story.
I had to die along with him in this side room because that was amazing.
You all are in the joke house anymore.
Anyway, wow.
Police blast Disney music to stop YouTuber from filming them, haters, in California.
Wow. That's a life hack, honestly.
Life hack.
A YouTuber filmed California police, forget 12, blasting Disney music while they investigated a car theft. Officers played Disney hits like "You've Got a Friend in Me" and "We Don't Talk About Bruno." No. During the investigation on April 4th in Santa Ana. What is West California's town names? Anyway, the loud music woke up a Santa Ana weird Councilman Jonathan Ryan Hernandez, among other neighbors, the video shows. An officer is seen in the video telling Hernandez they were playing the music because the person recording them wasn't allowing them to conduct their investigation. When Hernandez asks officers about the music, the officer says, because he will get copyright infringement. Hater, the video shows. The person filming officers is a YouTuber who films Santa Ana police and posts the videos on their channel called Santa Ana Audits. The Santa Ana Police Department did not immediately respond to Mick Clutchy Oh my God. News request for comment. Chief of Police David Valentin said statement to KABC TV, quote, "My expectation is that all police department employees perform their duties with dignity and respect in the community we are hired to serve. Disney music is copyrighted and requires authorization before using their content online. YouTube will remove videos with copyright material." Many things about this. Number one, there's ways around that. People make reaction YouTube videos all the time, avoiding copyright. That's number one. Number two, what is with California names? From your names to the name of the town, they're all odd. Get
Hold
better
on.
names.
Wait, so guys, I actually know a bit about this, and like actually letting the story sink in. This is actually kind of a bad thing because first of all, while I'm grateful to know that if I don't want a YouTuber filming me, I can just play Disney music. I'm actually familiar with these audits that people do. I have a friend of mine that like watches them, and basically it's people that hold the policemen responsible. So that's kind of the only drawback of this is that these platforms that do these audits and stream them, a lot of the time they're live. They do it to keep the police responsible and to hold them accountable for acts of brutality. So that's my only thing that I hate because somehow I guess the police have figured out a way to like
ward them off.
Exactly. And that's the thing. You could still post a video as it is, but cops sometimes will what they say is more incriminating than what they do. It just depends, so it's kind of like, you can see a cop enacting brutality, but if he's threatening you and you're not able to have that on your channel or your stream gets cut off because of the Disney music, then they're not able to hold them accountable.
5-0 getting a little crazy out here.
The weird news on the Morning Buzz today
it's definitely weird.
has been kind of dark, not dark, but hour one worthy.
Hour one.
It is very much hour one worthy.
I don't know, man. I'm glad we're having this conversation.
No, but it's good for us to dissect because I was kind of just excited about the fact that I can deter vloggers that I don't like, the videos I don't want to be a part of. But how often does that actually happen? Like,
that's very true.
You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about some other
noted blast copyright music if you don't want the film students to run up on you.
But I think Disney is about to, I think that's about to end, right? What? I know Winnie the Pooh is going to become public
domain.
Unless they push it back again, like they did.
It's already.
Sometimes they sometimes they find ways to renew it.
I think they will renew it. I'm sure.
That I don't think they can past a certain point. That's what I mean. I think Disney's coming.
I actually know about this. The first time. Okay, so Mickey Mouse, he was created back in the 1920s, and the original rules I think was like, I think the rules now is like after the creator died plus 50 years. So that happened, like that was gonna happen like a couple of years back, and then Disney was like, we gotta change these laws so we could keep Mickey Mouse for our own, so nobody could create like funny things with him, and they like changed the whole entire like way they do like
Mickey
copyright laws.
Clubhouse.
So once again, Disney is a giant monopoly and should
and
be
money
taken
talks.
apart.
Money talks.
The mouse owns all.
The mouse knows all.
The corporate rat
owns all.
The corporate rat.
Mickey Mouse, more like Ricky Rat.
Hey.
Ricky Rat is a lot. I had a visceral reaction to that.
Just like when you realize just how much Disney owns
Marvel,
everything.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Marvel,
it is
Lucasfilm,
it is
20th
sinister.
Century
It is
Fox.
pernicious. It is evil, nefarious, idle.
It's vocabulary.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It is vocabulary. They have a domination on everything. They own our food. They own our consumption.
They don't
own what
WMSC,
we
right?
see. They own what we yes.
Not
They
yet.
probably do in certain ways.
Mickey Mouse bangs
The
down the
rat knows
door.
all.
I think there is only
Oh my
one-
God.
There is only one solution to this. We must take to Disney, find the frozen head of Walter himself.
Yo.
Not Walt. Walter.
Not Walter.
He said we ride at dawn. Like seriously.
We ride at dawn on the,
The
back
Disney
of
is
Goofy
coming.
and we take over.
No way.
All right, where are we going? California?
First
or
things
Florida?
first,
No, it has to be
we
in
need
Florida.
to hold Minnie for ransom. No, not Minnie, because
wait.
Mickey doesn't care about
no,
Minnie.
no.
We hold Pluto
Wow.
because he cares more about his dog than his woman. That's what we need to
Goofy.
do first.
Wow.
Dog.
Second,
And
we need to
Pluto's
get
dog.
Donald on our side.
Donald. dude,
Donald is an
will-
op. He will
yeah,
switch.
he
We've
will
seen
switch.
it.
Donald
we know
is
it.
an op. I'm
Yeah,
done.
Donald.
can't.
Yeah, Donald would switch. Yeah, he would go to our team.
Donald has been sick of Mickey for years. He's been jealous of Mickey's spotlight. He
Yeah.
should be like, this should be the Donald Duck show, the
Yeah.
Donald Duck Clubhouse, DONALD. Like,
I can't do a Donald Duck voice.
I need to do a whole
I could do
lore
Donald.
about Mickey
Mort?
Mouse Clubhouse coup.
Did someone say Mort?
No,
No,
we're talking about Mickey Mouse.
How about Goofy? How about Goofy? Goofy.
Laura has
no.
officially ruined Madagascar
Oh
for
my
me.
god.
For real?
Lara's gone.
No,
This
it's
is
so
Mort.
bad. Whenever I watch Madagascar, and it's been a lot recently because I've been in really nostalgic moods. Every time I see a Mort scene, I think of Laura, and it's so sad.
Mort has finally come out, JD.
I can't even hear you.
I'm scared.
Or
No, it's really bad when
Gosh.
like feet jokes
Who,
come
you-
up. Like
No.
the running bit with
No.
the running bit with King
He-
Julian and Mort.
No.
And I think of Laura, and I'm just like,
I'm
no,
Mickey
no, I
Mouse.
can't get this
Uh-huh.
out of my head.
King Julian. I love you, King Julian. I love you, King Julian. JT, you better watch out.
I'm
FCC.
DreamWorks.
FCC. You see,
Okay.
Shrek doesn't own all.
Shrek should own all.
It's
Shrek should be
love.
Mickey.
Shrek
Shrek
is
is
life.
life.
Yeah. Shrek
And
is
the
love.
Lord
What
said,
are you doing in my swamp?
King Julian. King Julian, what are you doing in my swamp? King Julian.
Please God.
I hate
I just
Shrek.
it's really astonishing how good she is at this. And
Turn
and-
off her mic.
no, don't say that.
You have the power. You have the power, Terry.
No, she's so good because she's so short, and it's just like in her nature.
What?
Oh my
Am
god.
I just the human
Shucks.
embodiment of Mort?
Yes.
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 King Julian.
Turn
It is
it off, turn it off.
me.
Mhm.
You know that one scene in Madagascar through the lights go off and Mort just going la 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 la. If that's not just like if I had like describe Laura in one scene from pop culture, that is it.
So
Just
like,
the lights go off and
what I'm hearing is if I was an animal, I would be Mort.
yes.
Yeah,
What animal
is-
I
A
thought I'd
six-
be a house cat.
I thought he's a lemur.
I think he is a lemur.
No,
If-
I am Mort.
But
He
like
is a
more-
lemur, but I am Mort.
Marsupial.
Mort is just a Mort.
Lemurs are
Mort is Mort.
It's a mouse lemur to be exact.
That's-
Oh,
Are they
that makes sense.
marsupials?
According I guess. I think so.
Koala bears aren't bears. They're also marsupials.
Really?
Very
What's a
interesting.
marsupial?
I don't know.
He's
It's a-
just saying it.
It's like a
Yeah.
mammal.
He's just saying it.
I just know that.
I know what a marsupial is.
Oh,
Tell
women
us.
in STEM.
Breach.
It's like a mammal, but they have pouches.
Oh.
We have pouches. I have one on my belly
No.
flaps.
Yo, please take
And with that
Thanks
being
for the
said,
clarification.
and with that
Thanks for the
being
clarification.
said, you've been listening to the
Dang it,
Morning
I had a
Buzz
koala pun.
here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Y'all should stay tuned in a few minutes because something cool is gonna happen.
Is something cool?
Yeah, we're gonna do a mock-up show for my ADJs because I love you guys so much.
Oh, awesome.
I thought Mort was gonna show up.
So Terry, take us
Hi.
out, Terry. It is time. It is time.
It's time to leave.
It's time to end the morning buzz.
I hope you all had a fantastic time with us here on
Voila.
the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC. We're gonna do a mock show, so stay tuned. I think
Yes.
potentially, but in the
Koala
meantime,
bears.
here is not what I queued up. But have a great day.
Yeah.
You're listening to WMSC Upper Montclair.